Hello everyone, I'm Sophie, and I will continue sharing from the book that my guru has written. This is the book, Compassion Conquers All, Teaching on the 8 Verses of Mind Transformation by Sam Rinpoche. And I will go into verse 1 now, page 60. This is the first verse of the 8 verses of mind transformation. By realizing that all sentient beings are more precious than wish-granting jewels, for attainment of the supreme goal, may I always hold them dear to my heart. It is said that if we wash a wish-granting jewel 3 times, polish it 3 times, hang it on top of a huge banner, and ask for anything, it can provide all of our basic food, water, and necessities. Yet sentient beings are far more precious because their existence enables us to achieve the state of great awakening. No such claim is made of a wish-granting jewel. The key point is that if there were no sentient beings, there would be no individual awakening. Without sentient beings, we cannot practice compassion. Without compassion, we cannot attain bodhicitta. Without bodhicitta, we cannot become an enlightened being. Therefore, the kindness of sentient beings and the kindness of Buddhas are equal. Sentient beings are even more precious than a wish-granting jewel. All sentient beings, everyone around you, enemies, friends, neutral people, are very important to you because it is in dependence on them that you achieve enlightenment. How is that? How do you practice patience if you do not have enemies to develop patience with? That's very true. And what Buddhas are there without patience? What Buddhas exist with no patience? We need to have patience. And the only way we can develop it is by someone helping us, and that someone is an enemy. So an enemy is just as precious as someone that benefits us, because without them, how do we practice patience? One of the definitions of a Buddha is that he has patience. If we become a Buddha with no patience, if we hate enemies and we are a Buddha, I don't think we will end up on the altar. So think. We need to practice generosity. Who do we give things to? The trees? Waterfalls? Mountains? I offer this goal to you, mountain. No, it is to sentient beings. They are very kind to allow us to help them. That we are able to practice the paramita of dana, which is giving. If we want to go one step higher, to our Dharma brothers and sisters, giving, helping the Dharma institutions, the Sangha, and if possible, if we have one, to our root guru. It is their kindness that allows us to practice the paramita of giving. Every Buddha has tremendous spiritual and unlimited, inexhaustible wealth. And where did that come from? Giving. Giving to sentient beings. So in order to develop wealth, in order to develop karma, to even be rich in your next life, you are dependent on others. So when you are so dependent on others, how can we not respect them? They give us an opportunity to give, as well as to practice enthusiasm, perseverance, and so on. We want to become a Buddha. So we must love every single sentient being that exists in the 6 realms. Let's say there are 5 billion sentient beings in this world, and we love 4,999,999,999, but we don't love one for any reason. Guess what? You cannot become a Buddha. How can a Buddha love everyone except her, except him? I love everyone. I love every single sentient being except that one. Think about it. Your actual enlightenment is dependent on every single sentient beings and your attitude and motive towards them. So they are very kind to exist to let you develop this. If we show a bad face, a sour face, if we engage in bad talk, gossip, negativity, if we shout and scream and hurt and abuse others, we don't realize how precious they are. They are just as precious as the Buddhas. They are equally precious, according to the Bodhicattva by Shantideva. If they are equally important, do you think you can pray, kowtow, make offerings to the Buddha and the three jewels, your Guru and the Sangha, and turn around and abuse other sentient beings and become enlightened? You are in some weird cult, because that is not what Buddha taught. We have all been guilty, including myself, of following this weird cult. In front of the Buddha, we kowtow, we prostrate, we have tears. Then we turn around, someone bothers us, and we complain. Hey, we have done that over and over and over. The Buddhas are important because we need their teachings, we need their blessings, we need their inspiration, we need their guidance. We need the three jewels. We need them 50%. And in order to fulfill what they have taught us, where is the subject to act out what they have taught us? Sentient beings. That's right. All sentient beings, neutral ones, hated ones, and loved ones. The very fact that you have hated ones, neutral ones, in your vocabulary shows that you are not practicing Dharma. Think, it is all so interconnected and so logical. And how can we just prostrate to the Buddhas, prostrate to the Sangha, prostrate to our Guru, to our altars, and not show equal reverence, respect to everyone else? Of course, you don't have to run around with lotus candles and light one for everyone you meet and say, I respect you and pray to you. Of course, you don't have to be that fanatical. The point here is to have a sincere respect for other sentient beings. That includes your wife, who gets on your nerves, who nags. That includes your husband, who gets on your nerves, who comes home from work at 11 o'clock. And that includes your kids who shout and scream non-stop. That includes loving a guru who shouts at you. You've got to love everyone, everything. We should start with our gurus. We should start with our wives. And we should start with our husbands. Have we been mistreating our wives? Have we been talking angrily to our maids? Have we been mistreating our husband and talking wrongly to our husband? To our friends, to our relatives, have we? If we have, I don't think we are making progress here. And if we are not making progress, we are going to suffer. Of course, there are certain people who really get on our nerves. We don't have to beg, hug, or kiss them and say, I love you. Or hold their hands for 24 hours and say, look, Guru, I'm practicing compassion. You don't have to do that. The point is, let them be the way they are, but don't hate them. You may avoid them for now with the reason that you have not yet fully developed compassion. Until you have fully developed compassion, you don't want to have any hate. Or you want to protect yourself for now. But that cannot go on forever. I hate them. I want to protect myself, so I stay away. So we have got to love all sentient beings to become enlightened. If we don't, how do we become enlightened? Impossible. So to become enlightened, 50% is dependent on sentient beings. We should start today, now, this moment to start loving our wives, start loving our husbands, start loving our children, our relatives, our parents, our aunts and uncles, our Sangha members, our gurus, people who are neutral to us, people we just met, and especially enemies. We should start. Stop kowtowing to the Buddhas, because that is just 50% of the game. If you kowtow to them, it means you will follow what they are saying. You respect what they are, what they represent, what they teach you, and therefore you kowtow. So if you kowtow and you turn around to do the opposite, you should get an Oscar award for your brilliant acting. And we all should get an Oscar because we are the greatest actors on earth, all of us. Think about it. It sounds funny, but it is true. That's why it's funny. We have to respect everyone. We have to respect everything. And we must start with the people who are easiest for us to respect, from our gurus to the Sangha to our Dhamma brothers and sisters, to other religious practitioners, to neutral people, to enemies. Without the deep respect, 50% of your practice is not there. A table cannot stand with two legs. Think about it. We need to start practicing this. Please practice the first verse. The verse has such deep meaning. Let's become real Dharma practitioners. We have received the first verse. Let's put it into action. Let's make it stable. And let's make it constant. And let's support it and make it constant and stable by offering to the three jewels. Prostrations, meditations upon meditational deities, mantras, and so on. I implore you, my old friends and my new friends, to please put this teaching into practice this moment. The meditation. What would it be like to perceive every living being as infinitely precious? How would my body feel? How would my emotions feel? How would my heart and mind feel? How would I interact with them? Allow yourself to breathe in these liberating energies and relax within them. Let them become one with you. And with that, I will end my sharing today. As you can see, all sentient beings around us, which includes our loved ones, our friends, our acquaintance, and even those people whom we do not know, they are actually all here, and we should view them as compassionate. Why? Because they allow us the avenue to practice, which we are able to gain enlightenment. Without them, there's no enlightenment, and we are not able to practice. So they are being kind to us. And as mentioned by Rinpoche, out of the 5 million people, even if you do hate one, it is not practice. You will not gain the results. So we need to see every single being as someone who has been kind to us, so that we have someone to practice on. Practice especially our good qualities. So thank you. I will end the session here now, and I'll continue on in the next verse 2, in my next session. Thank you. I'll end this session with a completion dedication in Tibetan. Jang Jum Sen Jo Rinpoche, Ma Ke Panam Ge Yushi, Ke Panam Pame Payang, Goni Gondo Pewashu, Toni Tonga Rinpoche, Ma Ke Panam Ge Yushi, Ke Panam Pame Payang, Goni Gondo Pewashu, Daso Jini Sapagi Wadi, Tantandroa Gunda Gapada, Jepa Jesu no Santrapai, Tamping Important to Sa Se Sho, Ke Wakuntu Yandala Mada, Dramisho Kipana no Chochi, Sadom Nangi Yoterazone, Doji Changi Ngapangatusu. Ke wadi yududa lama sangye druyune druwa chikya malupa de isala gopashu jogi kya pusungapa chosunam pape wala ge kisama siwadang tungki malu sawasho dadam songe dosundan druwa songe latine ge wala santrapai tampayu ripa gyushi ni modele sendele ni mingo nyandele shi ni sintato dele pel concho sungi jingilo concho sungi ngotroso concho sungi trasi sho jesu nama kusen rapting chi no katri ni cho chu ke pada lo som tempe tro mi sap sungi tro i mun satato ni gyu shi cao người rõ người cô ấy xin cầm đen bên đàn đeo mà lưu vô này cho nên sự quan tâm sinh hoạt rồi sắp tới sẽ đi vào đồ đen như sự hôm tôi về ngõ trong mà lục bà đến để đó là sau đó số có đàn đeo bà lòng chọn nam cái bà số sẽ sụp tên sao. Thank you.